Hey, in this tutorial, I'm going to take you through the basics of using ChatGPT and Bard. If you haven't engaged with these AI tools at all, this is a great place to start. Okay, so to begin with, both ChatGPT and Google Bard are both large language models. They are AI tools that are designed to have a conversation with you, but ChatGPT and Bard have been developed using different technologies. So there's two versions of ChatGPT, ChatGPT 3, which is free to use, and ChatGPT 4, which requires a subscription. Google Bard is free with a Google account. I'm going to focus on the free version, which is ChatGPT 3. So it's only current until 2021. It's really good at exploring ideas, paraphrasing and summarizing. It does creative work really, really well. When you prompt ChatGPT, it's really good at contextually understanding what you're asking and giving you relevant responses. It does benefit, though, from really good prompts. So you've got to get good at writing prompts to get the most out of ChatGPT. All right, Google Bard, up-to-date information connected to Google Search. So it's really good at simplifying and summarizing broad topics, puts that into language that's very easy to understand. It's very good at answering factually because it's connected to Google Search. So it's regarded as very accurate and reliable. One benefit with Bard is that it produces 3 different drafts that you can select from and also connects to Search and Google Apps. So you're here because you haven't played around with these tools very much. So I'm going to provide you with 6 prompts, 3 prompts for ChatGPT and 3 prompts for Bard. These prompts are geared towards what these two AIs do well. So for ChatGPT, simplifying complex information, comparing and contrasting, and problem solving. For Bard, summarizing a web page, summarizing current news, and finding academic citations and references. So let's get started. First one, ChatGPT, simplifying complex information. So you can find this prompt below this video on my Unity, as with all of the other prompts. All you need to do is come up with your own topic so you can explore this prompt. So in this prompt, it asks ChatGPT to break down a topic into small, easy to understand parts, giving some examples, simplifying the concepts, and making the topic relatable. Let's have a look at that in an example. So in this example, I've used screen time and the effect on young people as the topic or the issue for ChatGPT to explore. So you're provided with some information. You could certainly find this on a website. You could do your own research. One of the good things about using ChatGPT for this is that you can take the conversation one step further once it's done this. And so this information is pretty complex. So what I'm asking ChatGPT to do is to produce a plus, minus, and interesting table using this information. So the ideas have been simplified down and presented in a different format. ChatGPT is very good at this, and you can continue to ask it to modify how it presents this information and maybe even fine-tune the response to focus on something within this topic. Let's look at the next one. Comparing and contrasting. So 2 ideas or concepts, using examples to illustrate. So for this example, I've chosen peer influence and media influence. So again, ChatGPT is exploring what it knows, presenting the information to you in a very easy to read format, in this case, headings and bullet points. Again, this is the kind of information that you could find on the internet, but one of the advantages of using an AI is that you continue to have a conversation with the AI and explore these ideas with the AI. So I've asked ChatGPT to make it a bit easier to compare the information by presenting it in a table. So the information is simplified even further, a little bit more accessible and easier to compare. Let's look at the next one. Problem solving. So asking ChatGPT to consider a real world problem, explaining a thought process, and providing a solution. In this example, I've asked ChatGPT to explore the problem of underage drinking. So I was specific about the output. I asked for a thought process. So that's what ChatGPT is doing first of all, and then presenting a solution. Something that ChatGPT does really well is produce creative pieces of work. So building on the information that ChatGPT has provided, I'm going to prompt for a 500-word creative story for a teenage audience with a strong moral theme about underage drinking, with a focus on the challenges faced by young people to be a positive role model within their peer group. So ChatGPT has produced quite an interesting story with this one here. It's very easy to get ChatGPT to rewrite the story. And in this case, I've asked for it to be more accessible for a less capable reader. And I've given it some instructions, producing shorter sentences, simpler vocabulary, and more concrete and clear language. So the same story, rewritten, but accessible to a less capable reader. Okay, let's take a look at Bard. So this is a pretty simple prompt, just asking Bard to summarize a website into a short paragraph, just with the main ideas and key takeaways. So the website I've chosen for this example is to do with logging in Victoria's native forests. So as requested, a paragraph with just the key points and takeaways. However, this might not be the easiest way to access this information. So I'm going to ask Bard to present it in a different way, in headings and bullet points. So Bard's presented that information as requested and provided a little bit more detail in the summary. Because Bard is connected to Google Search, I'm going to ask it for some other sources of information that I could explore online. And here's a good starting point for some further research. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. So summarizing the latest news. This is a simple prompt, just condensing some news into a digestible format. So in this example, I'm using some recent news from the second Ashes test in regards to the spirit of cricket. Something Bard does very well is it pulls information from different sources within its Google search to give you update information. Unfortunately, at this stage, it doesn't reference that. I'm now drilling in a little bit more specifically to the 3 MCC members who received a consequence for their outbursts as the Australian cricket team walked through the long room. And Google Bard is able to pull information from different sources to produce some detail on that. As I said, we're not getting any references at this stage, but this might be something that Bard brings into its responses in the future. I certainly hope so. Let's look at the last one. So finding academic citations and references. So with a task or a topic, asking for academic references in the format of name, author, date, and abstract. So for this example, I'm going back to restoring Victoria's native forests from destructive logging practices. So here's a useful list of academic references that I could use to start some research. Bard also does some good brainstorming and thinking, so I'm going to ask it to give me a list of arguments and supporting statements. So Bard's able to provide me with some ideas about some for and against arguments. Here's something that Bard does that ChatGPT doesn't. Provides you instantly with 3 different drafts, so you can compare 3 different ways of thinking about this, 3 different ways of presenting the information. So have a play around with these 6 different prompts. Feel free to modify the prompts and see what these AI tools can do.